Hi there. Dr. Bill Crawford here, psychologist, speaker, author of 7 books, host of 2 PBS specials. Here again to bring you another tip on how to help you create the life you want. Normally I look at a quote that I send out each week, and I'm sending out one this week as well, but today I want to start with a question. What's the most important thing in your life? When I ask that question in my seminars, people say things very understandably like my kids or my family or my business or my dreams of the future, my relationship, my friends. Very understandable. I really believe that all of those are indeed very important. However, I'm going to suggest they shouldn't be the most important thing. There's a quote that I do use in my seminars sending out this week that says, you never want to make the most important thing in your life something that is beyond your control. Because have you noticed, sometimes there are going to be things that happen with our kids or our family or our relationship or our business, our future, that we can control. And unfortunately, the brain interprets that in a very specific way. For those of you who follow my Life from the Top of the Mind philosophy, you know this middle part of the brain, the limbic system, is the scanner, processor, router part of the brain. Scans incoming data, processes it or interprets it, and then either routes it down to the brainstem, the reactive brain, or up to the upper 80% of the brain, the neocortex, what I call the top of the mind, the purposeful brain. So when the limbic system senses something we can't control that is the most important thing in our life, it signals danger, throws us into the reactive brain. Now, if we're in a situation where reacting from fight or flight is exactly what's called for, that's perfect. But notice with our kids or our family or our business or our friends or our dreams, that's not something we can deal with from a fight or flight perspective. So we get frustrated, we get anxious, we get stressed, we get resentful, we get annoyed, we feel paralyzed because there's nothing we can do from this lower 20% of the brain to deal with this particular situation. That's why I suggested, even though our friends and our family and our kids and our dreams are very important, they shouldn't be the most important thing. So what should be the most important thing? I think it should be something that is, number 1, in our control, and number 2, allows us to bring our best to our role as parents or friends or relationship partners or business, or help create the dreams in our future in the most effective way. There is another quote I use in my seminars that says, every thought, emotion, and action defines who we are and who we are becoming. So when we find ourselves reacting to life and we say, man, traffic stresses me out, or my kids drive me crazy, or my parents drive me crazy, or my work makes me nuts, whenever we say this situation makes me this, what we're saying, we're really giving the difficult people and difficult situations in our life the power to define us or control us. And in that particular instance, I don't think we want those situations having that kind of power in our life. Which means we need to take on that power ourselves. So if every thought, emotion, and action defines who we are, why don't we define who we are on purpose from this very purposeful, powerful part of the brain? I call this our highest purpose, and I suggest we make it the most important thing in our life. So let's look at that. What if we were defining ourselves with our kids, with our family, with our friends, with our business, with our friends, from this very purposeful part of the brain? What would be the qualities and characteristics we would like to be able to draw upon? Clarity, confidence, creativity, compassion, kindness, curiosity, flexibility, empathy, whatever. Have you noticed when we draw upon these very purposeful parts of who we are, we actually bring our best to our roles as kids, as parents, as relationship partners, with our kids, with our business. We help bring our dreams to fruition based on these qualities. And the good news is, these qualities are within our control because they come from the very specific part of the brain. If we can just learn to have this limbic system send data up to the neocortex, where we access all of these qualities and characteristics, all of our interpersonal skills, all of our problem-solving skills, we become more powerful, more influential in our life and in the lives of others. Now, there are going to be situations where, despite our best efforts, that's not something we can control. But if we haven't made that the most important thing in our life, we're going to be able to be okay with that. Maybe not thrilled, but okay with that. We don't get thrown into that reactive brain and find ourselves paralyzed or frustrated or stressed or anxious. By the same token, if we make bringing our best to life, identifying who we are at our best, I sometimes encourage people to create a list of the 20 qualities or characteristics of you at your best. Now, a lot of people say 20. I might be able to do 5, but 20? I talk about 20 because I want to overwhelm this limbic system with our own sense of self-worth so that we can know we're somebody we can depend on. This is somebody I would want for a friend, for a relationship partner, to be the parent of my kids, to be in charge of the dreams of my future. So when we can bring our best to life, identify them first, and then make that the highest purpose, our highest purpose, the most important thing in our life, defining who we are versus being defined by those difficult situations, and then bringing that to life when we make that the most important thing in our life, that is within our control and allows us to be successful in all those areas that are so important to us in our life. This is what I love to do. I go around the world teaching people this system of how to identify your highest purpose, how to train the limbic system to send data up to the neocortex, the top of the mind, where we can actually live in this upper 80% of the brain versus constantly finding ourselves in that lower 20% of the brain. Bring our best to life and create our life on purpose in a way we would recommend to those we love, and make that the most important thing in our life. Now, all of a sudden, how we live our life is really more up to us. It's more within our influence, more within our control, because what we are going for first is defining who we are in a way we would recommend to someone we love. If this is something you'd like me to do with your organization, feel free to go to my website, billcrawfordphd.com, hit the contact button, let me know what you're interested in. I'd love to talk with you about that. If you would like to work with me as a psychologist, coach, whatever you want to call me, do the same thing. Go to the website, hit the contact button, let me know what you're interested in. If you like these videos, make sure you subscribe, hit the like button, share them with your friends if you would. Let's spread the word about how we can become more influential in our lives and in the lives of others by becoming clear about what's most important in our life. In other words, here's to you, bringing more clarity, confidence, creativity to everything you do. And I look forward to seeing you in the next video.